Hi Book Dragons! So I am back. I am going to start a new TBR game and I really want this game to be fun for me, so I kind of built a game that just kind of helps me flesh out my TBR but also helps me plan content, and I'm going to kind of get into that as we go on. So the first decision I have to make is I have to roll a dice. And I'm going to roll the dice and see what the option is. My go-to, I would probably just be an elf character, but the way that I did this is I have a species, you have a 6-sided dice, you roll a thing, and that is the genre that you're going to focus on. So I'm going to see if I roll the dice what I get. You know, I would say romance and fantasy are my two most read genres in the entire year. So if an ideal world, I would be like a half elf. Because that would be like romance and fantasy, but I didn't write that down as an option. So we will see what gets rolled and what gets picked. So the first thing we're going to choose is our species. And what the species is just tell me what book I have to read one of these a month. And I read a lot, like I read between 15 to 20 books a month. So it won't be that hard. So let's see what the dice tells me. And here is the graphic that I was showing you. And it has another graphic, but I'll get to that in a second. And the thing of the genres is just the genres I read most often in the year. Ooh, okay, so I got a 2. I got an elf, which is what I wanted, because I do read a ridiculous amount of fantasy. So we are going to do an elf character, which means I have to read one fantasy book every single month at minimum, which won't be very, very hard. And now I'm going to go away and I'm going to kind of come up with a name for my character, what her name is, and then we'll go on and we'll continue doing all of the other fun things. So I did a little bit of research, and again, I'm not going to share the photo because it is like AI generated, but I'm just going to have it for my journal. But I will share her name and tell you a little bit about her. So my character's name is Thalia de Mare. She is an elf character, and she is a known earth mage. So she works with plants, and she's like an earth mage. She's very, very connected to the environment, and that is all you need to know about her right now, at least. And if any one of you are like graphic designers and can do like animations like that, I would love to commission you to do a photo of me for her, because the one I have in my journal I can't share because I don't know where it came from, but it is a cute photo. So I have to read fantasy this year, which is definitely going to be exciting leading into my goals. So the next thing I have to do is I have to find out who I'm questing with. So in the graphic I just showed you, there was a questing like breakdown. It just shows me like who I'm going to be questing with. And basically it just has, you know, a human, an elf, a mermaid, a werewolf, a gnome, or a half elf. And basically I do that. So I am going to roll and see who I am questing with this month. And that, whatever fantasy book, the fantasy book that I have to have has to be in this page count. So I am questing with a half elf, which means the dice choose. So I'm going to roll again, and the last number I get, it has to be the amount of pages, is like the last number has to correlate with that. Or, you know what, maybe even like, yeah, I'll do that. Ooh, okay, so it has to end with a 1. It's a fantasy book that has to end with a 1. Or have a 1 in it, I guess. Like, it's not gonna, but like, ideally it ends in a 1. Alright, so let me go find a fantasy book that ends in a 1 and see what my options are. So it's actually really, really funny because this was gonna be the next book I read for a vlog. But you know what? It's okay. I think I'm just gonna push it to 2025 because it will have me finishing a duology, and honestly I'm not in the biggest rush to read this. So this book it's the end of a duology. It is one of those series I was a little bit unsure about if I wanted to continue. So this book has 331 pages, so it's a very, very short one. This is the sequel to A Magic Steeped in Poison. And it would be my fantasy book, and it would also be under that page limit. So I'm going to add a Venom Stove Dark and Sweet, and me and my half-elf friend, we are going to go on a quest together. So now let's go through the rest of the TBR, but this is going to be the book that I have to finish, because this is giving me my character's like background and also who I'm questing with. So the next 3 things we are going to decide is we're going to decide 4 things actually. We're going to go over who is my companion for this month. I'm gonna go through my companions, and each companion, as you saw in the graphic, is going to chat about my various lists of the year, and I have to choose a book from one of those lists. All of these lists have videos on my channel, so that is sort of cool. So they're just motivation to help me complete it, and then I have to roll a dice and see how many books I have to read off of that list. I think I don't know if I'm going to do it. Maybe not the first one, but that is something I could add in the future. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going through the rest of it. So I'm going to pick a companion, I'm going to choose my weapon, and I'm going to do how many prompt cards I'm doing. And I'm also going to talk about one of the vlogs I'm going to do. So the first thing we are going to focus on is my companion. So each of my companions, as you saw in the graphic, I will have attached the graphic here, is basically all the lists that I have this year. And I have to focus on that list this month and try to read as many as I can. So I'm going to probably try to read 2 or 3 when I do it, just because I want to get these lists down fast. So let's roll the dice, and then I'm going to tell you what the list is focusing on, and then I'm going to go choose some books from that list. Ooh, okay. So me and a unicorn is going to be my friend this month, and the unicorn is a 5-star read prediction. So I'm going to go look at that graphic, and I'm going to choose 1 to 3 books. It just depends on what's actually out, because it is so start of the year, and those books haven't come out yet. A lot of them, so I have fewer options. But let me go pick a couple, put them on my TBR cart, and see how many I can get read in January. So I do have some options. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put 2 on here, just because none of these I have access to currently. So it's just going to be a luck shot. I think I'm going to put The Baby Dragon Cafe, and I will attach a photo here. This is a cozy fantasy book that is coming out in early January. I did order a copy from the UK, so it might be here a little bit later. I can also read it on my Kindle. And I also think I'm going to add All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. I will attach a photo here. First book with Source Books Casablanca, and it's an audiobook I definitely will get. And I'm really excited for this one because it has a podcast element. It does come out early in the month, so those are the 2 I'm going to add. But again, things might pop up. I don't have access to all of these books on my list, but those are the 2 I'm going to focus on for this month. And if I happen to read more books, I will just talk about it at the end. But my goal is to always read 2 from the list, so I'm going to focus on those. But other books that I do have access to, or I know are coming out, Royal Heirs is coming out, Onyx Storm is coming out, Illusion and Fire I have access to. So yeah, I'm just kind of looking at those, and I think that those are the 2 that I'm going to focus on. All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles, which I will listen to the audiobook, and then The Baby Dragon Cafe, which I have a book coming. If worse comes to worse, I could buy it on my Kindle for $2. But yeah, so that is the plan for that. I'm going to try to tackle 2 books off of my 40 books that I want to read in 2025. Okay, so I definitely saw this from Margaret, but I'm changing it up and I'm adding it my own. But I'm going to choose the weapon that I'm going to take on my quest. And again, sort of it's just the source of the book. Well, I have to read a book from one of these sources. So I have physical, NetGalley, BookBox, physical, library. I have to go to the library and get something, which I can do in the next couple of days if I have to. Audible or Hoopla or the library. So something that can borrow. So I'm going to roll, and I'm going to see where does one of my books have to be from. Okay, so it is going to be a 3, which means it's a book on my NetGalley TBR, and I know the perfect book. I am going to do The Rival by Emma Lord. I'm going to attach a photo here. But yeah, this is her college romance. I always do say that I'm not the biggest fans of hate-to-more romances, but if it's done well and there is history, it may work for me, and I've loved so many of Emma Lord's books. So I'm going to add The Rival to this TBR, and it's going to help me adventure with my axe. So that's very exciting. And probably the part that I'm going to keep is, when you are going on a quest, things get more complicated for sure. So I'm going to roll a 6-sided dice and pick that number prompt cards for this. And it's just going to range, and it's going to focus, I'm going to do a vlog about them every single month. And it's just going to be how many books are going to be in the vlog, how many cards am I pulling. And I will say I am going to pick a book in the moment, but if like I decide to change it in the middle of the month, as long as the prompt gets filled, that is okay. And I have to look at my graphic. But these cards will definitely build up a reading vlog for sure. But yeah, so I'm just going to roll the dice, and I'm going to make sure that I'm doing my own rolls right. And I'm going to show you guys what that is. So we have to, oh my god, it had to be 6. So we're going to do 6 cards for the first month, which means one reading vlog has to have 6 books in it, which I think will be fun for you all. It will just be, you know, one of those vlogs where I'm reading and I'm listening to something. But yeah, that is definitely going to be a vlog that is going to kind of focus me for sure. Yeah, so it's just basically going to be 6 cards that I'm going to have to pull from. So yeah, let's get this under control. Let's start pulling books out of there. I did come up with a bunch of new cards. So some of these are like written in purple ink and some of them are not written in purple ink. I tried to mix them up too, to the best of my ability. So they're not all like, they all got mixed up. But I'm going to do one more mix before we do it. And yeah, so, and then I'm going to put these somewhere that I know that they are. Ooh, a book from my 2025 NetGalley list. All right, so let me go look at that. I just did pick The Rival, which means I'm gonna have to read on my Kindle this month, guys. And we all know Laura's not that great at that. Okay, so card 1 is gonna be NetGalley. Okay. All right, now let me go over here. You know what? I think I'm going to read Stealing for Keeps by Rebecca Genjak, because that is one that came out, it just came out. It came out in December, so I may actually just toss that onto there. It is a soccer romance. It is YA. It is her first YA book. So yeah, I think I'm going to add that to my TBR. That way I will get that out of the way, and it's a quick one. And sometimes at the start of the month, start of the year, I do want to read some quicker books. And I have liked her in the past, and I can maybe even try to get the audio because I know that it's out. I may actually, like, after I'm filming this, go see if I can get the audio for that because it just came out. But I did have an arc of it as well. And I know that Tori from Tori's Novel Lives really, really likes her. So that will be the first one. And here's a picture. But it did recently come out. If it's not out today, it's coming out before the end of the year. So here's the photo. So the next book I am going to pick is going to be a 2025 book on my ARC TBR. Now this one's easy because I do have some books that I just didn't get around to. So I'm going to add a book to here that I really do want to read, and that is Language of Dragons. This is one that's supposed to come out in January. I actually have a special edition coming. So this is sort of one of those books that if I do read it a little bit early, for a sweeping dragon romantasy debut, perfect for fans of Fourth Wing and Babel. I remember I saw this book and I was like, oh my god, I need this book in my life. So I'm going to add this book to the TBR because it is on that. I did get this book from Comic-Con. And I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but this was one that was like super like interested for the early start of the year. So I want to add this to my TBR as well. And yeah, so this one will be a one that I add to that TBR. And then I will pull another card. So now we have 2, we have 3. Next one is going to be a book. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to like rough these up a little bit. Alright. Okay, so it says to pick up a YA thriller, which I can definitely do because I have a few of them. That, you know, but I'm also letting myself like read things that like I have access to. So let me go look on my Audible, no, on my Libro FM to see what is the last book like I have access to, and then I'll come back and I'll chat with you guys. So I think I'm going to pick up Signed, Sealed, Dead by Cynthia Murphy. This is an ALA arc that I got, and it's from the authors of the book text sensation Will Win, Lose, Kill, Die. Comes in explosive mystery about a true crime-obsessed teen and a house of secrets. And I think she moves back to her father's eerie childhood home, where she uncovers the town's dark history about disappearances in the 90s. I may see if my library has an audiobook, like an audio copy of this, because I normally do like to listen to my thrillers. But yeah, I'm gonna toss this onto there. Again, I am going to a lot of cons this year, so I'm trying to, like, you know, pick up some YA thriller. I may just see like what books does my library have, but I will add that to the TBR as well. Okay, 4. Let's pick another card. Ooh, okay, so this one I'm gonna wait because none of the booktuber videos are out yet. I'm definitely going to do a lot of content based on that. That's why this video is like a little bit hard to film, because I haven't watched all of them yet. So I'm going to put a placeholder here for a booktuber favorite, whoever booktuber I'm going to focus a vlog on in January. I don't know who that is, but I'm just going to put a booktuber favorite down, and then once I can make my spreadsheets, I don't know if I'm going to start in January, I'm going to start in February. It just depends on when all the videos come out, then I can kind of make a decision. But I'm happy that that got chose, because I'm going to do the vlog anyway. So whatever creator I focus on, I will do that down as well. Alright, one more card. I'm trying to go out of order because I did like 6 of the same exact one. I did like a lot of like my list ones. So, okay, another booktuber favorite. Alright, so these are going to be placeholders for that vlog that I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna do a couple of those in this month. So and then my last card I'm gonna pick is going to be, ooh, a cozy mystery. Okay, all right, I have some thoughts about that. I have some books on my immediate TBR that I can add, but you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to add The Late Miss Willoughby by Claudia Gray. This is one of the books that may get read at the end of 2024, just depends on my listening game. But yeah, I'm going to add this. This is the next book in the Tinsley series, and I really like book 1. I have the audio for book 2, so I'm going to add this to the TBR. And again, I am saying this stuff might get read in 2024, but I'm building my cart now, so I have some stuff to pull from. So yeah, those are all the cards that I picked. Again, we do have some booktuber favorites that I can't decide right now, but as I'm doing that video idea, I will come up with 2. So at least 2 of those will definitely get read. And then a cozy mystery, which I'm going to do that one. So yeah, The Late. Okay, perfect. Okay, so those are all of my cards that I pulled, and I'm going to put these in somewhere where I remember where they are, so that they don't get lost. And now let's get to the next part of my TBR. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, you're going to have seen a graphic that kind of goes, what is one vlog you're going to see this month? And the graphic says, you know, I have a readathon vlog, whatever vlog I'm doing a readathon about, or if I'm doing many, I can choose one and do a readathon vlog. I can do Rex from a booktuber, which actually would work out perfectly because I have favorites of the year coming up. A collab or a weekend vlog if I get brave and actually reach out for vlogs or collaborations. I'm trying to get better, I am. A solo quest is just a spinner wheel. A spinner wheel chooses my TBR. And then I have like a town quest, which means you focus on one list and you kind of do that. Or a Save the World. You do a book from every single one of my lists. So let's see what is going to be the focus of this month. Ooh. Okay, so a list focus vlog, which means, what is the list that I think I have the most for? Card-wise, I think I'm going to do 2020-25 ARC TBR, like my physical, like my NetGalley ARC stuff. I think I had another one too. I think I had, there was like another one. Yeah. I think that just because I have a lot of those, I think I'll probably do either, you know what, I think I'm going to do a physical arc. Like a physical arc TBR. So I'm going to do a reading vlog where I read a couple of my physical arcs from 2025. And yeah, that will be fun. So that will be kind of starting 2025 off strong with a couple of my arcs. I'll do a week where I read all the arcs that I have on the card. I have a lot from Y'all Fast. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do or what I'm going to focus on, but I will say like Language of Dragons might pop up in that because this is an arc in 2025. Brood with Love may pop up in that. Yeah, so these are the two I'm going to put on there as like a physical TBR, but these might pop up because they are, you know, 2025 arcs. But yeah, I'm going to do a 2025 arc reading vlog for you to start the year off strong, and I think that will be fun. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus a vlog every month on series. And I will attach a photograph here of what this looks like. But basically, if my quest this month is easy, then I only have to start a series. And basically this tells me how much of my TBR I need to complete. So like I have a lot of options on here, but like if I have an easy quest, then I only have to finish 2 books on my TBR. If I have a medium quest, like, then I have to finish 3 books on my TBR. Hard, 4 books. Challenging is like as it gets harder. So we're gonna see what type of vlog I'm doing, what kind of season, and how many books of the TBR do I have to read this month to be successful in my quest. Okay, a 3. Okay, so I need to read I have to complete or read some books in a companion series for this month. And 3 books of my TBR will count, so as long as I read 3 books on my TBR, I am good, and I have to read a companion book. So I'm going to focus this month, or January, on finishing and catching up to the Veronica Speedwell series. I will touch a photo of the book I have to read next. So this is the book I'm up to in the Veronica Speedwell series, and then I only have to read 3 books on my TBR, which is really not that bad. And I know other things are going to come up, but basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of talk through the readathon I'm doing this month. So that is all the books for that. And I have to read 3, and I have to work on a companion series, which is going to be the Veronica Speedwell series. So yeah, let me kind of reassess, kind of flesh out my card a little bit, and then we'll talk about the readathon I'm going to focus on for January. I hate having an empty TBR card, so I'm just going to really refill it with the books that were on here. And again, some of these may get read at the end of the month. I might be doing this a little bit wrong. But I do want to add 2 arcs that are coming out in early 2025. I want to do Fable at the End of the World by Ava Reid. It's coming out in March, but I've heard really good things about it, and I want to read it. Also, The Scorpion Queen is coming out in January. So if I could get this read, I would really love that as well. So these are 2 more arcs that I can kind of toss into that vlog if I need some more content. And then I have had a self-destruct vlog from last year that I never finished. So The Last Magician was on there. Fair and Wilder Magic, and also Padeline's Grace is on there. So I'm going to put these books back on my TBR cart. And then we just have some like end of series or catching up on a series that I really do want to focus on. And again, I'm tossing these on here because I want to have somewhere to put them. So I have The Undermining of Twilight and Frank. I have The Darkness Within Us. I have Unraveled. I have The Despicable Wonders. All of these are ends of a series or like catching up on a series that I would love to catch up on. So yeah, I think that. And then these are books that just, honestly, they may not get read, but I know I have a bingo board coming up, and I know I have a bunch of challenges that I may get roped into. So, Songbird in the Heart of the World, One Dark Window is for my gothic girlies. I've heard some fun things. But yeah, also, I don't know what anyone's like end of the year books are, so I also have Powerful and Reckless. And I also have 2 audiobooks that I would love to finish, The Good, the Bad, and the Aunties and 10,000 Stitches. So yeah, those are all the books on my tentative TBR, and I just like to pack my TBR cart with options. So yeah, let me go do that, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about TBR-athon with Leandra from Leandra's TBR Zero. So the last part of this is just going to be me chatting about the readathon I'm doing. So I'm doing TBR-athon for Poor Paws and Bookshelves. And unlike when I did last year, when I felt like I never accomplished anything because I never finished any of the challenges, I'm going to focus on one board until I'm done. So the board I'm going to focus on and try to complete for this, I mean, not every one is like this, but all of hers tend to have like different options embedded in them. So I'm going to do Paws and Bookshelves, and I am, of course, going to try to catch all the puppies, because that is my brand. If you don't know, I have a little shepherd. She's hiding somewhere, but she does exist. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to roll, and I'm going to see what is my first book of this going to be. I'm not going to roll the whole thing, but I want to at least do one so I can kind of maybe pick my first read of the year with this, and then I can kind of just be a little bit more strategic. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, okay. So I need to pick a book that has a winter setting. Ooh, okay. Pick a book that has a winter setting. A winter setting. Okay. Alright. Well. Huh. Alright. That is interesting. Alright. Let me go try to see anything on my TBR that has a winter setting, and then I'll come back and we'll chat. But that'll be the first book that I'm going to choose. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to go see if I can find something. So I'm definitely going to read this in the month. I just don't know if I'm going to have a book before it because it is 5 in. So when I start my vlog, I may just have to read a winter setting anyway. But I'm going to pick up an audiobook, and I'm going to have it be On Thin Icing by Ellie Alexander. It is a cozy mystery series that I'm on Big 3. It does have a winter setting. You really, really can see it. I'll attach a photo here. But this is one of those like companion series, and it is set in winter. So yeah, I think that's going to be my first audiobook of 2025, which is really, really exciting, which does also give me a little bit of like leeway to pick a 2025 book, like something that like my first book of the year. I put a lot of weight on that for some weird reason. Yeah, I'm weird. It's okay. We all know that. But yeah, so basically this is how I'm going to be my TBR. And then in February, I'm going to kind of assess how successful I was. Did I complete all the prompts that I said? And I think I said I had to read, like 2 or 3. I would have to go back and look. I think I have to go back and look at what I said because I don't remember. But I think it said I had to do a companion vlog. So I had to do a companion vlog and read a bunch of those. And I had to read 3 books off of my TBR. So it's actually not that bad. Read 3 books on TBR to count it done. And then I just have to have a catch-up vlog for audiobooks, like all my companion series, and I'll make a note of that. So yeah, I hope you guys like this. I don't know. I just want something to hold me accountable. I hope you like meeting my character and all that fun stuff. So let me know in the comments, what readathons are you participating in the month of January? I would love to know, and I'll talk to you guys later.